You get used to it.
Actually, I'm a horrible student. I sit in the front row, so
I had that same problem. Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Dina McCaffrey, and I'm the president of Jefferson College. And on behalf of the JCGA, we would like to welcome you here this evening for the 2024 Jefferson County Candidates Forum. The first thing I would like to do is thank Sharon from JCGA for all of her hard work. I really appreciate everything you do for our community, and this is just one more of those events, so thank you. Now that everyone's applauded, I'm going to give some rules. And the first one is we ask that you do not applaud through this event because we are back to back to back to back to back and so on the entire event. So we are going to be moving quickly and swiftly through, I think there's 27 total candidates speaking tonight. So it is, like I said, back to back. And along with that, a couple other things to note. If you are one of the speakers, our videographers have asked that you enter from the outside and come up. And if you're not a speaker and you have to get up, there's restrooms in the back of the room, there's restrooms across the cafeteria, but we ask also that you go from the outside because the camera is coming in straight here from the middle. So they want to keep it on the candidates as much as possible. We do not have any planned breaks tonight. So again, just if you need to get up, walk around, what have you, please do that at your leisure. I am also going to let you know, for you speakers, you should all be sitting on this side. That really helps us. And Sharon is in the back. And if you look back there now where Sharon is sitting by the videographer, she has 2 cards. The yellow card will be raised when each speaker has 5 minutes. At 4 minutes, she will raise that yellow card and try to wave it a little bit so you can see it. And at about 10 seconds left, that red card is going to go up. I'm also keeping time on my clock just because I'm going to be sitting here in the front and introducing each speaker. So I'll be looking back at Sharon at that time. And I mean, anyone who knows me knows I'm not afraid to speak up or stand up. So you'll see me stand up if it's 5 minutes and you're still speaking. Because again, we have, I think it's 2.5 hours of speakers if everyone stays at their 5-minute mark. So to get us started tonight, actually, Cindy Buckeye Courtway, who is running for State Senate District 3, she's actually out of town at the Republican National Convention right now, and she recorded her 5 minutes. So we are going to play that video presentation right now, and then we'll move on to the next one. So thanks again, everyone, for coming.
Good evening. My name is Cindy Buckeye Courtway. I'm the current state representative in District 115, and I'm running for State Senate District 3. Thank you all for being here this evening. I apologize for not being here in person. Back in April, I was chosen as a delegate to go to the Republican National Convention to vote for Donald J. Trump to be our next president. So I apologize for not being here today. I'm running for the state senate because I believe the people in the Missouri's 3rd district, senatorial district, need someone to represent their interests and needs in the Missouri Senate. For too long, our Senate has spent more time arguing with each other and not getting done what the constituents need to have done. My husband and I have raised a blended family together, giving me a firsthand experience in trying to find solutions that meet a lot of different types of needs. I come from a rural community. I have a bloodline of farmers, union workers, teachers, business owners. I know how to work hard. I have been involved in several grassroots organizations. I am currently the chair of the Women's Legislators of Missouri. I am a life member of the NRA. I work as a healthcare professional at Mercy Hospital Jefferson, and I have seen firsthand how the fentanyl crisis is impacting our families. As per the Missouri Health Department, Jefferson and St. Francis counties are among the most brutal hit in the state. We have to get our borders secured and stop the pipeline of fentanyl into our country now. It's why I'm going to the border in September, because I believe our legislators must know what is going on there so we can help to assess the problem. In 2021, 1,177 Missourians committed suicide. We have a mental health crisis. We must support our veterans, our active duty military, and first responders. I believe we also need to support our children. That's why I sponsored a bill this past session, House Bill 2471. It provides tools for teachers to assist with suicide risk, how to address and age-appropriate training for our kiddos. If we can show our kids better options for children, they will be better equipped as adults. We need to strengthen the economic development opportunities for Missouri. One way I've helped to do this was House Bill 2352, which removes outdated restriction and empowered port authorities, paving the way for advanced infrastructure, increased economic activity, and job creation throughout our state. We have such a great opportunity with the Mississippi River, interstate highways, and rail, and we should be taking advantage of it. That's why I helped and lobbied for successfully $25 million in port development, $12 million for road infrastructure to bring jobs, and most recently in this past session, $1 million to add a depot in DeSoto for Amtrak to stop. Having served as the chair of the House Transportation Infrastructure Committee, I deeply understand the needs of the Missouri infrastructure system. Growing up in Perryville, attending college right here in Hillsborough, and living in Festus, I have driven the roads across the state and the Senate district, and I experienced where investments need to be made. That's why I was proud to help bring the $240 million I-55 expansion with 67 and Highway CC being incorporated as well. I have worked with the city and county officials, Amtrak, and stakeholders in the DeSoto area to bring that Amtrak stop to this area. I just recently rode a train here to Milwaukee, and I wish I could have gotten on at DeSoto. Instead, I had to go to St. Louis to get on. 1 year from now, I'd be able to get on at DeSoto, which will be huge for our community. In the Senate, I will advocate not only for those investments, but also the interests of all residents in the district. I understand how to work hard, collaborate when needed, and fight for the people that I represent. Some of my endorsements for the Senate include the Missouri Right for Life, the Missouri Cattlemen's, the State Firefighters Council, Laborers Local 110, the Missouri-Kansas Regional Council of Laborers, Sheet Metal Workers Local 36, the Teamsters Missouri-Kansas-Nebraska Regional Council, and Freedom Principle Missouri. I will never back down or waver from defending our Second Amendment rights. I am committed to defending life from conception to the natural end of life. I believe in the conservative causes that both President Ronald Reagan and President Trump championed. America first should be our focus and our mission. I believe that Missouri has much to offer, and it is a great place to live. I believe that the best resource this state has is its people. I have been humbled to serve as the state representative of District 115's legislative district. I want to continue fighting for our voices to be heard, and I'm confident that better days are ahead for us. I look forward to continuing the campaign throughout the 3rd Senatorial District, discussing my vision of a brighter future for this district and the state. Again, my name is Cindy Buckeye Courtway. I'm running for State Senate District 3, and I respectfully ask for your vote on August 6th. Thank you.
They took care of that pretty quickly. Moving right along, we also having running for State Senate District 3 on the Republican ticket, Mike Henderson. Thank
you. First of all, thank you for having us here tonight and given us this opportunity to speak to everybody. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Mike Henderson. I've been married for 40 years, have 2 grown children. I have 1 grandson who is can probably wrap me around his little finger anytime he wants to, pretty much, but that's okay. I have served for the last 8 years in the Missouri House of Representatives. The last 2 years, I served as Speaker Pro Tem, being elected by the body of the House to serve as the Speaker Pro Tem during that time. Before that, I spent 8 years as a teacher and coach, spent 23 years as a school administrator, got done with that, and I had been a government teacher, believe it or not, years ago, and decided I was going to run for office. So I've enjoyed it. It's been up and down, as you know, when you're in elected office, but I've enjoyed my time in there. To tell you a little bit more about me, I am an A-rated by the NRA, was endorsed by Missouri Right to Life. I have the sole endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police, the sole endorsement of the State Firefighters Council. I've been endorsed by MSTA, And I'm missing some of the endorsements, but I've been endorsed by several different groups I'm very proud of. I'm very proud to be endorsed by the police because that's one of the things I'm going to talk about a little bit tonight is fighting for the conservative agenda that we have. So what is that conservative agenda? Part of it is fighting crime. Crime is getting out of control. How many people want to go to the St. Louis Cardinal game and come out late at night and try to go to your car right now? It's a problem. It's a problem not only in St. Louis and Kansas City anymore. It's becoming a problem in more rural Missouri. And I think we have to do more and give police the respect and the resources that the police need to fight crime. I think that's very, very important as we move forward. Another part of the conservative agenda to me is lowering taxes. Since I've been in the House, we've lowered the effective tax rate from 5.1 to 4.2%. 5.1 to 4.2. It would have gone down another 0.1% this year if our general revenue had gone up another $3 million. We barely missed it. Also in there, I've been able to champion that we cut Social Security taxes for our senior citizens. We were one of only 11 states that were taxing Social Security benefits. Also, we were able to do the freeze for property taxes for our seniors. Now, we did leave it up to your local government to try to put that freeze in if they want to. I think here in Jeffco, you may have already done that, and we think that's really important. We don't want our senior citizens being taxed out of their houses with the rampant inflation that we've been facing since President Biden has been in there. So that's pretty important to me. Part of that leads into the next section I have, and that is local control. I'm a big believer that I don't want Washington telling me everything we should do. I don't think we need Big Brother coming down. Same way, I don't think our local officials need Jefferson City telling them everything we can do. I think we have a role that we should, and we have a path that we should be on, but I do not believe in the Big Brother theory that they're going to tell us everything we should do and every move that we should make. I think you're best governed by the people closest to you. You know those people. You see them in the grocery store. You see them every day. And Jefferson City and Washington need to do their role, but they also need to stay out of the way and let the locals have their say and let people be governed by those individuals. Next thing, immigration. It's a problem. I mean, Texas and Arizona are no longer the only border states. We're all a border state. These immigrants are coming up here. In fact, I think I'm the only one running in this that was able to vote on the bill that says if an illegal immigrant is sent out of Missouri and they come back, they can be charged. We've got to take some steps to make sure we control the illegal immigration because if we like it or not, I'm not talking about immigrants. We should welcome legal immigrants, but the illegal immigrants are bringing crime with them in many cases. And we keep seeing it in the news day after day as we try to deal with it. So when I'm elected, what you can count on from me is I will fight for you in Jefferson City. I will fight to keep the values of the 3rd Senatorial District. I am a person that can get things done, and I have to say this and then quantify it. I think since I've been in the legislature, I have passed 14 bills into law. But most of you don't want more laws. You don't want more regulations. I've yet to talk to a business person and say, I wish they'd put more laws and regulations on us. But sometimes we have to update the ones we have, and sometimes like with new technology. As an example, one of the ones that I passed was the drone bill. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I humbly would ask for your vote on August 6th. Thank you.
Now we are moving along to state representatives for District 97. First, we have Democrat Dan Schaefer.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Good evening. I'm Dan Schaefer. I'm running for the Missouri House of Representatives, District 97, covering northern Jefferson County. I'm a father, a husband, engineer, political podcaster, and a writer. I was raised in Missouri, but I spent a lot of my adult life in Southern California. I can tell you more about myself, but this evening I really want to share my vision for Missouri. A vision that puts power back into the hands of the people, rightfully puts the power in the back of the hands of the people. In recent years, we've seen troubling instances where the Missouri legislature, which has been under Republican control for the last 22 years, has many times ignored the will of the people. Now, allow me to cite some examples. Firstly, the initiative petition to expand Medicaid was a huge success, passing with significant public support. Yet the legislature refused to fund it, directly contradicting the voters' mandate. This disregard for the democratic process undermines our trust in government. Secondly, the Clean Missouri Initiative, passed by popular vote in 2018, aimed to ensure fair elections and a transparent government. It was effectively nullified by a 2020 initiative from the legislature. They used misleading ballot language to cancel out the 2018 initiative, overturning the people's will. A more recent example includes women's rights. When the Supreme Court reversed Roe v. Wade, Missouri was the first state to completely outlaw abortion with no exceptions. This extreme measure does not reflect the will of the people, so in response, citizens initiated a petition to restore reproductive rights, to codify them in the Missouri Constitution. However, the Secretary of State delayed the start of the signing period, making it almost impossible to gather the necessary signatures in time. Now, despite this setback, the people persevered and succeeded, gathering over twice the needed signatures. And then what happened? The legislature responded by attempting to put forth a ballot that would change the petition rules, window dressing it with ballot candy in an attempt to mislead us, undermining the democratic process yet again. You can bet that the union-busting right-to-work initiative will come up again and again, despite being defeated overwhelmingly in 2018. So what's going on here? Our rights are under attack, not by all Republicans. I want to emphasize that, not by all Republicans, but by a large enough number to repeatedly deny us our voice. Beyond women's reproductive rights, the radicals in the Republican-dominated legislature have banned books from our libraries, tried to divert funds from public to private schools using vouchers, cynically calling it school choice, aimed to eliminate African American studies, and promoted a culture of intimidation online with images of themselves wielding guns and baseball bats wrapped in barbed wire and flamethrowers. I've spoken to many Democrats who rightfully feel intimidated, fearing repercussions if they dare to voice their opinions. This culture of physical and psychological intimidation is anti-democratic. I will not cower to such intimidation, nor will I acquiesce to its purpose. We are a free nation, and any attempt to suppress our freedom of expression is a tragedy for democracy. My vision for Missouri is clear. We need a legislature that listens to its constituents and respects the will of the people. When the government becomes non-responsive or hostile to the people's will, we will no longer have a democracy. If certain legislators feel strongly about an issue, it is their responsibility to motivate the people and lead by example, not through intimidation, manipulation, and deceit. We must reclaim our government from those who seek to undermine it. We need transparency, accountability, and a renewed commitment to the democratic principles set forth by our founding fathers. Working together, all of us, Democratic and Republican, we can ensure that Missouri becomes a state where the people's voice is heard, respected, and acted upon. My name is Dan Schaefer. I'm the Democratic candidate for Missouri House of Representatives, District 97. Please see my website at danformo.com. Thank you for your time.
Next, for District 97, we have current State Representative David Castile.
Thank you very much. My name is David Castile. I'm the incumbent state representative in the 97th District. I'm a father. I'm engaged to the beautiful Jordan Lamb. I run a business for the last 21 years now. We employ over 50 people throughout the state of Missouri. As a rep, I've passed legislation to resolve a lawsuit between Jefferson County and the state of Missouri. This year I carried the fentanyl bill because fentanyl is encroached upon every community throughout the state, if not throughout the country. That would have enhanced penalties for those caught trafficking fentanyl. I look forward to continuing to push legislation that will create pro-business communities and encourage communities to come to Missouri to work by lowering work comp expenses and to deregulate the economy. I'm currently on the Economic Development Committee. I'm on the Professional Licensing and Registration Committee. I'm on the Ways and Means Committee, and this summer I've been appointed to the Interim Committee on Illegal Immigration and Crime. This committee is going to have roving hearings throughout the state, and we're going to research and investigate how illegal immigrants have committed crimes or how they have become victims of crimes. I'm also endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police. I'm endorsed by the labor unions, the carpenters, the pipe fitters, the steam fitters. I want to talk a little bit, though, about the legislative process and how that works. To file a bill, I've heard a lot of candidates talk about how many bills they're going to file and how they're going to change the world, and a lot of that stuff is determined by leadership. And as Representative Henderson had indicated, leadership is voted on by the body. And so there's a lot of things that need to change, but one of the things that is evident is that the bills are just coming through the Speaker's office, and then they will be assigned to a committee based on the Speaker's recommendation. At that time, the representative will have to go and lobby all of the representatives on that committee. Hopefully they get a committee hearing, and hopefully they get passed out of committee. So it takes some time to develop those relationships in order to be effective, in order to pass a Republican or Democrat initiative. And so that's kind of one of the things that I've been focusing on, is developing relationships within the Capitol building itself and all the executive offices, so that I have the support that I need to get the legislation passed and to lobby the other representatives. It's tiring. It's endless. It never ends. And so when you leave your family, you leave your business. These are all sacrifices that the media doesn't cover very well, and they're a heavy burden to carry. And I look forward to continuing to carry that burden for those who I represent, both Democrat and Republican. And I look forward to continuing to look for solutions to these problems with a business mind and a grounded reality. So, by the way, you've got to go over to the Senate, too, and deal with the Senate on their committees when you're filing these bills. And so it's really good to have an open mind and a good relationship with all of those people. My name is David Castile. I'm the incumbent representative for the 97th District, and I really appreciate your time.
Now we are moving to District 111, and we will have, for state representative, and we'll have Cecily Williams.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Getting to know your candidates is so incredibly important. Seeing them, hearing from them, helps you make the best decision you can when you're at the polls. First, I want to take the time to thank Jefferson College, Dr. McCaffrey, and the Jefferson County Growth Association for allowing us the opportunity to have all of us together in one room and share the vantage point of why your voice and choice at the polls are so incredibly important to our county and state. I am first and foremost a follower of Jesus Christ. I am a mother to 7 of the most amazing humans and a grandmother to 2 of the most beautiful little blessings ever. I've been married to my husband, Rich, for 17 years. He's a CB in the United States Navy and has been for 19 years. Together, we own 2 small businesses in Cedar Hill, Turf One Landscape Management and Auto One Repair Shop. I have been a resident of Dittmer for 30 years. Our children have attended the Northwest School District. 5 have graduated. 2 are currently enrolled as a junior and 7th grader. I sit on the board of Big River Ambulance District and volunteer for many committees and booster clubs throughout our communities. I'm a conservative mother and business owner. I want to take a moment to talk about what it means to represent a district in our state capital. When elected as your state representative, my duty will be clear. I will be there to voice your concerns, protect your interests, and ensure that the decisions made in our legislature reflect the needs of our community. When I step onto the House floor, I'll carry with me the voices of each and every one of you, your concerns about taxes, health care, education, jobs, and infrastructure are not just numbers or statistics. They are the heartbeat of our district. I will protect and preserve our Second Amendment rights. I have the highest rating that a candidate can have with the NRA. I will protect your parental bill of rights. Women and girls sports. I will always vote to allow children to determine what they want to be when they grow up. I will protect pregnant mothers in a crisis in a respectful way that protects them and their child. I firmly believe that a state representative's voting record should be a direct reflection of the wishes and needs of their constituents. It's not about personal agendas or party politics. It's about making sure that the laws and policies we enact benefit the people we serve, whether it's advocating for education reform, lowering taxes, supporting small businesses, or ensuring access to affordable health care. Every vote I will cast is a commitment to you. The impact of these decisions are profound. They affect our schools, our local businesses, our roads, and our families. When I vote on a bill, I will think about how it will improve our district, how it will contribute to our growth and prosperity, and how it will uphold the values that define us. But representation is just not about voting in the legislature. It's about listening, engaging, and understanding the perspectives within our community. It's about being accessible, responsive, and accountable to each and every one of you. Your feedback shapes the approach, and your trust will be one of the most valued assets. In conclusion, I want to assure you that I will take my role as your representative seriously. I'm committed to ensuring that your voice is heard loud and clear in our state capitol. Together, we would continue to build a stronger, more vibrant community, and one that reflects all of our shared value and aspirations. My name is Cecily Williams, and I'm running for the 111th District as your next state representative, and I hope to have your support at the polls on August 6th. Thank you.
Also running for District 111 is incumbent Republican Representative Gary Bonacker.
Thank you. It's certainly an honor to be here. Toward the end of my first term here in the House of Representatives, District 111. So let me get started here. I am Gary Bonacker. It's a great honor to be here, and I am standing in District 111 right now. One thing I keep saying is I'm not a politician. I'm here to serve my community. Now, my family has been in Jefferson County close to 200 years, and where we currently are for almost 170. I am invested in this county and in my district. I farmed with my father and my brother until my dad's death 22 years ago. I still farm by myself. And then I have one son who's married to his wife, Sarah. They have two sons, Ty, who is 2, Bodie, who is 3 months old. I found working 80 to 100 hours a week didn't leave me much time to serve my community. But in 2010, I was elected to the Northwest School District Board. That was an election not different than this one here. Same rhetoric. 4 more elections later, I'm still there. Last election, I believe I was on more than 80% of the ballots. So when I am asked, what do I stand for? Here's my comments. I voted to defund Planned Parenthood. I voted to support Governor Parsons sending National Guard troops to help Texas secure their border. I voted to give seniors a personal property tax relief, even though I have a special interest in speaking in protecting those governmental services that collect revenue from that tax. That just means we're going to have to find a different way. The school districts, fire districts, ambulance districts, the library districts. I know what it takes to run these districts and educate our kids and go to the emergencies that those other entities have. But what isn't told in this scenario is that the Hancock Amendment will give my school a way to recover those revenues up to 2% increase. This means that the rest of the taxpayers most likely will be paying higher taxes. And that's what you're going to get from me. You're going to get the whole story so that you can see why I vote one way or another on an issue. I see the long-range consequences. I see so many legislators that don't really look for concern or have a concern for the unintended consequences. I do. I'm looking for bills that are good bills from the beginning, not after we fix them 3 times. I keep hearing about personal freedom. Quite honestly, what I hear is my personal freedom is the only one that counts. Your freedom, or your choice of freedom, your type of freedom, isn't really important. Let me give you an example of that. One example is landowner rights. We should be able to evict trespassers off of our land, which also means we can't go on someone else's personal property without permission. This is no different than being a squatter on someone's land. We just passed a bill saying that we have a way of eliminating that. So that's a good bill, right? But then during the pandemic, the freedom fighters want to go wherever they want it to go. Now, I believe the landowners can restrict access to their property if they see fit. So let's have landowner rights for everyone, not just those who think they have the right. As a Republican, I believe this is how we should be seeing it, to see that both ways have the equal rights. In closing, let me share with you my experience knocking on doors. I have literally overwhelming support from those who I talk to. I don't have to tell half the story. I'm not afraid to say I'm a moderate Republican. People of this district know me. If not, they see my integrity to trust me. I've been on the school board long enough to where the people trust me. These are my voters, the middle 70%, who want sanity in our government. They don't want to be polarized from our neighbors, their neighbors. This era reminds me of, well, long ago, in the middle 1800s. And I will fight that attitude about our own neighbors. Please help me. Vote Gary Boniker. Thank you.
Next, for State Representative District 112, we have Democrat Dave Rikash.
Well, thank you for having us. I'm grateful to be able to come and speak to everybody today. My name is Dave Rikash, running for Missouri House District 112. I've been in Missouri since 1985, been in Jefferson County for the past 20 years. I like the state. I like the people. I don't necessarily agree with where we're headed. I've got 4 children, 3 daughters and a son. I am a union electrician with IBEW Local 1. I have a lot at stake in the state and where we're going. When I see things like right to work that has been pre-filed every year since it was shot down by our citizens, it keeps coming back. It won't go away, and it's a way to destroy unions. It's a way to take and diminish citizens, people, their retirement, their livelihood. I don't like it. We have, they said, we had the first ban on abortion after the Roe v. Wade was overturned. I have daughters. They should have rights to their own bodies. They should not be discussing that with politicians. They should be discussing that with their doctor. Period. Point blank. There are a lot of things happening in other states that some people want to bring to our state. Examples include states that are now required to teach the Bible, states that are required to display the 10 Commandments. It sounds great if you are Christian, but for those who aren't, it's not good. And I don't want those things forced on my children. If that's what they want to do, they have that right to do that. And that's freedom. That's true freedom, which we're supposed to be a land of the free. I've heard a few people tonight and at different times talk about what they believe in and where they stand on issues. And they're not standing on, supporting people, supporting citizens, and making them better. They're talking about what they believe and what they want to impose on other people. And I don't agree with it. And I feel like I ran because this seat was unopposed last time. And we don't have someone standing up against some of those initiatives and policies that are hurting people. So I'm here to be that shield, to correct some of those wrongs, and to make sure we don't slip further away from where we should be as a country, with the rights our Constitution guaranteed being stripped away. So it's really as simple as it gets. And so I would appreciate your vote in November.
Next, for District 112, we have incumbent Republican Renee Reuter.
Good evening, and thank you so much for this opportunity to speak about my race, about our community, and the service that I've provided to our community for the past 14 years. I'm a lawyer by trade. My name is Renee Reuter, and I've served in the House of Representatives now this is my second year. And before that, I served on the county council for 12 years. I was one of the original people who was elected to serve on that county council. And then I was elected by the other council members to be the first chair of the first county council. What that meant is we needed to set up a brand new form of government here in our own county, and I'm so proud to have been part of that process. We are facing some serious things in our county, in our country, and in our state. Those include economic uncertainty and significant inflation. You know that every time you go to the grocery store, we've got a difficult reputation for the largest city in our state. St. Louis City has a terrible reputation, but it's also the engine for 80% of the revenue that comes into our state from local businesses. We have widely available online pornography streaming to cell phones that are in the hands of many minors, and it's destroying our community from the inside out. And as we saw on Saturday, we have significant political unrest. And, the negative campaigns that we've seen the last several years, I think, is contributing to this significantly. And I do hope that we can address both that and the mental health crisis in the coming years. I've served on the committees of the budget, pensions, general laws, and judiciary for the House of Representatives. The budget committee takes probably the most amount of time. We had 8 weeks this year of daily hearings that were multiple hours to listen to all the budget concerns, all the budget requests, and to make suggestions of what we thought would be a better budget for next year. My 14 years of public service and living here in Jefferson County for my entire adult life, other than when I was traveling with my spouse to serve our country in the U.S. Army, I know this community. I've served this community. I love this community, and I love the state of Missouri. It's been such an honor to serve, and I hope that I get the opportunity to continue to serve there. I do have a few endorsements. I have the COPE endorsement from the unions, and I also have gotten the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police. I take it very seriously that we have the ability to protect the people who protect us. And one example of that is I co-sponsored a bill my first year in the House, which was passed, that stopped the practice of having the people who have lost a family member have to pay for signage honoring that family member on the sides of our roads here in Missouri. I thought that was horrendous. I didn't know that happened before, and I was able to get that passed in my first year. My opponent talked about right to work. I share his concerns. I am not someone who supports right to work, and I've said this many times. The people have spoken. I have no intention to overrule what the people of our state have given us as directions. He also spoke a brief minute about the Bible. I did vote for the Bible to be an elective in each of our public schools. Why? Because it's significant. in terms of both historical and literary teachings. So if we don't bring the Bible back into our community, into our schools, in front of our children, I think our society is going to continue to deteriorate. So my name again is Renee Reuter, and I represent District 112, which includes Imperial mainly, and parts of Arnold and Barnhart. So I ask for your vote in November, and I thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you for allowing me to serve you.
Next, for District 113, we have Joe Maddock.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Maddock. I am running to be your next representative for District 113. I live just south of Arnold with my wife, Kara, and our 3 young boys. I also own a small business, an insurance company. If you attended the Jefferson County Republican Club last night, please bear with me. With the assassination attempt on President Trump Saturday, I feel it is important to share my thoughts for the people here tonight and for those watching online. What now needs to be said that is not already understood? Many of us are angry, saddened, frustrated, or even worried. But the one thing I haven't seen is fear. And why would we be afraid? On Saturday, we saw amazing bravery. We Republicans have seen our leader attacked in the media, attacked by his friends, attacked in the courts, chastised and demonized time and again. And when none of that worked, they shot him. Yet once again, without fear, Donald Trump stood up, raised his fist in defiance, and told us to fight for our country. If that doesn't give you goosebumps, I recommend you see a doctor. So what now? My hope is that this tragedy can be common ground for us. If we can agree that this was an awful event that never should have happened, what else could we agree on? What else could we work together on? What happened Saturday was an historic moment, a story you will likely share for the rest of your lives. It put a lot of pressure on each of us and on our country. But I believe the only thing that you can do when you're under pressure is double down and increase your efforts. Let's focus on the needs of the country as a whole, but also the needs of Jefferson County and of Missouri. We need local leaders who are prepared to fight for our country. Leaders who are capable of standing up in the face of overwhelming pressure and danger, defiant and resilient. I ask you as we approach August 6th, not only to prepare ourselves, but as an engaged community leader, help prepare your neighbors. Share what you hear and share what you've learned. One of my favorite aspects of my campaign has been the knocking on people's doors, meeting them on their own turf, and finding out what they really care about. It's important our representatives do this. You see, we political types, you can sometimes get into a bubble, talking about IP reform, what makes a true Republican, or what methods the different caucuses use to push their agendas. But I can tell you, most voters, they don't really care about that. They want their streets safe for their children to play on, a functioning economy that allows them to put food on the table, and the assurance that the people that represent them are there for the voters, not themselves. With regard to safer streets, I couldn't agree more. Just last year, the city of Arnold overwhelmingly passed Proposition Public Safety. The story we heard again and again from the department's spokespeople was about the amount of crime coming from outside of the area. More than 3/4 of the non-traffic related incidents were perpetrated by people who did not live in Jefferson County. When you add in reports that Missouri has more than 77,000 illegal immigrants of unknown origin, some who have already committed violent crimes in our state, you start to understand that our police need help. I will continue my partnership with Jefferson College Law Enforcement Academy to award Academy recruits with the Daniel J. Maddock Memorial Law Enforcement Academy Scholarship. I am proud to announce that through this partnership this year, 3 Jeffco recruits will be awarded $1,000 scholarships to assist them through their process. My name is Joe Maddock, candidate for Missouri House of Representatives, District 113, and I ask for your support on August 6th. Thank you.
Next, we have incumbent State Representative Phil Amato, also for District 113.
Well, first off, I want to apologize. I'm not hitting on all cylinders tonight. I had to do the eulogy today, just a few hours ago, of a good friend of mine that I grew up with. So, but I'm here tonight to talk to the people of my district. I'm proud of the fact that just in the last 2 weeks, I was endorsed by the Missouri Chamber of Commerce. So that means that I've been endorsed by the Chamber of Commerce and I've been endorsed by labor. So that makes me very happy that I'm able to get along with all sides of an issue. The governor just a couple weeks ago signed the bill of the budget, and he cut over $1 billion out of the budget. And one of the things that did survive is a freshman, which freshmen don't get drop-ins in a budget. I was told that over and over again, and I'm so appreciative that leadership allowed me to put a $300,000 pilot program for crime prevention in the budget for streetlights, and it survived the budget cut. I was holding my breath when I got the veto list and went down it, and it survived. So I'm really happy about that. The other thing that that happened in the last week or two that's really nice is I introduced 8 bills. And it was a little challenging not in the House so much. The House did their job. It was challenging to get things from the House to the Senate and get them through because there was a lot of filibustering and things going on both sides. But I had one of the hottest bills in the legislature, and it was 2896. So it was affectionately called the Squatters Bill, and it was to protect private property. And it was filed on the last day, which was March the 1st. It was brought to me by a constituent, and I was proud to get it introduced in the House of Representatives and get it referred to, and it was on a rocket ship, and it had over 60 co-sponsors. There was 1,684 bills that were filed in the House of Representatives, and if you take out the budget appropriation bills, only 11 finished. Got to the finish line for the governor's signature, and the squatters bill was one of those. I was real happy about that. After the session was over, the Speaker of the House always has a press conference. And being a freshman, I was all the way in the back, and leadership was all the way up in the front. And it's kind of a crowded room. It's a little bit smaller than this. So there was cameras and news media from all over the state. And they asked the Speaker, they said, what is the most significant bill that you passed this session? And he said, Representative Dave Griffith's bill on veteran suicide was probably, I think, the most significant bill that we passed in the House of Representatives. And then one of the other reporters said, well, was there another bill that comes to mind that you thought was significant to be passed? And he said, yes, Representative Amato's bill on squatters from Jefferson County. I'm real proud of that. And here I was all the way in the back. So when the press conference was over, I got on the elevator to go downstairs to pack up my stuff for the summer, and one of the gentlemen that's is about as far right as anybody I know in the House was on the elevator with me, and I said to him, "What's your plans for the summer?" And he said, "Sleep for about 3 days. I'm exhausted. Then I'm going to start my campaign, and my corner piece of my campaign, Phil, is going to be your squatters bill." And he said, "I was one of the 64 people that co-sponsored it. I'm really proud of the fact that you brought it forward, and it's going to help a lot of people, and it's going to rid this state of some of the baloney that's been going on with the squatter situation." My name is Phil Amato. I'm from District 113. I'm happy to be here tonight, and thank you very much, and I appreciate your support.
Next, for District 114, we have Democrat Jesse Shepard.
Hello. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to the Jefferson County Growth Association and to Jefferson College for sponsoring this event. My name is Jesse Shepard, and I'm running for House District 114, which is Festus, Crystal City, Herculaneum, Peevely, and some unincorporated areas of Jefferson County. My family has been in Jefferson County for 3 generations. My father is a hard worker and was an entrepreneur. He and my uncle owned Shepherd Auto Body at the corner of 110 and Main Street in DeSoto for a number of years. And my mom was an educator and a humanitarian. And the reason why it's important to me to share that with you is because I truly believe that I gained a very strong work ethic from my father, and I gained compassion for others from my mother. These qualities make me the type of person that you would like to see as a state representative. If you don't think your state representative should be working hard for you and should be compassionate, then you might want to take a look at who we're voting for. I graduated from Hillsborough High School, and I went back in my 30s to college to get my degree. The time in between, whenever I left school, I spent kind of figuring out my way and trying to determine my path in life. And during that time, I worked a number of occupations. I worked in food service, I worked in retail, I worked in sales, I worked in manufacturing. I even worked as an elevator operator once, but that's a story for another night. This might not be the experience that you would expect for a state representative. But I can tell you the experience that those types of jobs and my path that led me to where I am today has given me is the lived experience of what it is like to be the average person in Jefferson County. When I tell someone that I understand where they're coming from, it's because I truly do. It's not just a line. Your problems are my problems. I know what it's like to work 2 or 3 jobs just to be able to keep the lights on. And I will always fight for legislation that will bring more jobs to Jefferson County, increase wages and improve working conditions, and reduce our cost of living. Currently, I work in disability advocacy and support for a nonprofit, and I spend most of my day helping the people on my caseload connect with the services that they need in their community. This is exactly what a state rep should be doing in their constituent services and outreach to their constituents. I am a proud Democrat, but I need you to know that I truly believe that half of the job description for a state representative is right there in the title. Your job is to represent everyone in your district, and I can promise you that regardless of party or values or differences, I will always hold the values of this district first, and I will never vote straight party lines because I think it's important to vote for your constituents' needs. Now, I'm not exactly sure what my opponent has been doing for the last 2 years, but I can tell you that it wasn't introducing any legislation. In the last 2 years, my opponent has introduced no legislation at all, and he told the press that his time in Jefferson City was better spent learning how things work in the state legislature. I personally believe he probably should have learned that before he put his name on the ballot. It is very true that freshman legislators rarely get a bill introduced in the House all the way to the governor's desk. But we've heard 2 incumbents tonight that were telling us about their successes as freshman legislators. There's a thing that I would like to call the Groundhog Day effect, which is if you introduce legislation, you bring it back the next year. Maybe the first year it doesn't even get assigned to a committee. The second year, you bring it back. The third year, you bring it back. You keep trying because persistence pays off. And what eventually we see happen is that bill gains enough support in the House to push it all the way through to the governor's desk. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, and I promise you that if you send me to Jefferson City to be your next state representative for District 114, I will not sit on the sidelines. I am ready to get in the game on day one, and I'll share with you. I'm so sorry, I'm out of time, but I will let you know that I have a booth at the Jefferson County Fair this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I would love to discuss legislation ideas with each one of you if you'd like to come out and talk with me. It's very important to me to build a base platform that reflects the base of my district. Thank you.
Also for District 114, we have incumbent Ken Waller.
Well, after you get past the shock of the jacket that I wore today, I'll address the issue that my opponent kind of talked about. I'll address that a little bit later. I want to thank Jefferson College, the JCGA, and of course our MC, Dina, President of the college, Dina McCafferty, for hosting the event. My name's Ken Waller. I'm 62 years of age. I'm going to be 63 here in a couple more months. Born and raised in Festus, now live in Herky. Married to my wife, Trina, 34 years, 3 children, 1 grandchildren, and 2 Yorkie poos. That is important. Currently, in my first term as a state representative in District 114, as Ms. Shepard said, that's the district, Festus, Crystal, Peevely, Herky. The thing that I think I bring to the table is I bring 20 years of experience in county government. For those that don't know anything about me, I was a county treasurer from 2005 to 08, 11 to 18 as a county executive, replaced by Mr. Gannon, who's done a great job. And I was a county elections clerk. And then, of course, I'm a state rep the last year. Serve on the following committees: elections, which is very, very important. Have an opportunity to be the chair or vice chair coming up. Insurance committee. Well, I've been an insurance agent for 30 years. Have a chance to be the chair or vice chair of that. Workforce development and the transportation accountability. These committees fit well for me and my background, and I believe that my county background has helped me in legislative position. Some of the achievements. You don't have to be the person that does the bill. My opponent says that I didn't do anything. Well, I beg to differ. A lot of stuff goes on in Jefferson City, and it's not just forming legislation. So, you know, if she would happen to go there, she would find that out very quickly. And as a Democrat, you would get nothing done up there, as opposed to a Republican. You would not get a bill passed. With the majorities of the Republicans up there, we have a lot better chance to get legislation passed and through. Co-sponsored a lot of bills, and that's what's important to me. Some of the things we did: passed legislation to freeze real estate and personal property tax, created new provisions to make porch piracy, that's the stuff you get from Amazon and everything, a felony. Passed election security legislation, supported a statewide ban on transgender surgery on minors, and a ban against general males competing against female athletes. I think that's very important. I've been endorsed by a number of places, but the biggest supporters have been the unions. And people say, well, if you're a Republican, how are you getting union support? I was a union kid. My dad went to he was a union guy for 30 years. The unions like what I do: the painters, the food service workers, the laborers, the carpenters. I got the COPE endorsement. One thing that I really am passionate about, I got the Missouri Right to Life endorsement. And let me tell you something. I know the abortion issue is probably going to be on the ballot, and it's going to be highly controversial on both sides. I'm going to tell you right now who's going to stand up for the kids. Who's going to stand up for those babies? Who's going to stand up? And the Right to Life endorsement to me was very, very important. I received that, and I'm happy. The MSTA, which is the Missouri State Teachers Association, and Missouri School Administrators Association, I got those endorsements too, which means I'm pro-public education. These endorsements are important, but the most important endorsements are the people in my district, and I think I take care of them very well. Some people will say, well, you got to represent the whole district. Well, I beg to differ. You got 30-something thousand people. You can't be on the same side or the right side of every issue of everybody. The late Ron Casey said, you'll make enough people mad as you vote for this and vote for that, because you just can't continue to vote for everybody and what they want in the district. Sometimes you go against your party, and sometimes you don't, and I have done that. So in closing, am I good? In closing, I won this election last time by a little over 4,000 votes. I don't take anything for granted. The way I look at it is, if God wants me in there, I'll be in there, and if he doesn't, I won't. It's pure and simple. I'm going to work and do what I need to do. I've raised probably $40,000 or $50,000 for this race, because I do not take Ms. Shepard. I take her seriously. Just because she's a Democrat doesn't mean anything to me. She's an opponent. She's She put her name on the ballot, and I have to take her as serious as I can, just like any of us that are running for public office. It's a big commitment. I applaud any and everybody, incumbents, people that are running for office, for the sacrifice that it takes just to run, not even to win. So I really appreciate it. I'm Ken Waller. I'm a Republican conservative, and I would appreciate your vote in November for State Rep, District 114. Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have District 115, and we will be starting with Democrat David George. David? Okay, we won't be starting with David. Sorry. Dominic Lawson, Republican for District 115.
Good evening. I'm Dominic Lawson from DeSoto, Republican, running for state representative for the 115th District, which is all of southern Jefferson County. First, I want to give thanks to God for bringing me to this place in my life to where I can serve. Second of all, I'd like to say thank you to Jefferson County Growth Association for inviting me here. Once again, we are in this time to elect people to represent us in county, state, and federal government. These people are given authority by us, we the people, to set policies, make laws, raise or lower taxes, spend those taxes, create or get rid of programs, etc. You get the point. You need and want to know who these people are and want to take on this great responsibility. As a citizen and voter, I would like to know also. So here we go. Generally, I'm a person that is short and sweet and to the point. I'm not going to waste your time with the same political rhetoric that goes on, but I will be here afterwards to answer any of your questions more in depth. The first question, who's this guy standing in front of you that wants to be state representative? I am Dominic Lawson, 54 years old, soon to be 55. Born and raised in southern Jefferson County, went to Sunrise, R9, kindergarten through 8th grade, DeSoto High School from 9th through 12th grade, graduated in 1988. I was also very fortunate to have parents that made sure us children were involved in Boy Scouts, soccer, Little League baseball, cross country, and wrestling, where all of us children excelled. My parents taught me to be productive, to set goals, achieve those goals, be focused. In layman's terms, get off your blank and go do something. They gave me the basis of how to live my life. As the generations of my family before me that were union-skilled tradesmen, I'm a union-trained carpenter that went through the apprentice program and received my journeyman card. I currently own a small construction company that specializes in home construction and home repair. I'm trained to build things that last, built the right way, overcoming obstacles. Working with multitudes of different people and see to the completion of projects. I'm proud to be a union-trained carpenter. It's been a great and wonderful career. I want to take these experiences and skills to build a better future for southern Jefferson County and Jefferson City. As for my service, for 15 years I worked with Latin American Child Care through the Assemblies of God Church, taking multiple trips a year all through Latin America, partnering with local communities to build schools and churches in those communities. I've been elected to the Board of Trustees to the Carson Hill Church and Cemetery, and I must say serving was one of the most moving parts of my life, and I learned a great deal. I have great memories. It was a sacrifice and a tremendous blessing. I consider myself Christian and conservative. Now, what does that mean? It means I believe in individual freedom, limited government, rule of law, peace through strength, physical responsibility, free markets, human dignity, and I support Christian values. I am endorsed by the Jefferson County Labor Pact and Missouri Right to Life. I would like to say that this has been a great experience for me, meeting and talking with people that I don't know, asking them what are some of the most important issues that they are concerned with, which are illegal immigration, personal property taxes, schools, what's being taught in schools, infrastructure, family issues, inflation. These are some of the major issues that people are concerned with and that need to be addressed. I'm not going to make any promises that I'm going to fix this or fix that, but what I can promise is I'll stay focused and put my nose to the millstone and work towards fixing these issues and let the people's voice be heard. I bring my life experiences and beliefs to the table to serve my town, my district, county, state, and country because I care and I believe in this great nation. Thank you very much.
Also for District 115, on the Republican side, we have Bill Lucas.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. McCaffrey and the Jefferson County Growth Association. I'm sorry, I toned my inside voice down a level or two. My name is Bill Lucas. I'm running for District 115, which is, as my opponent, Dominic, said, almost all of southern Jefferson County, from R7 south to St. John County, south to St. Francis County, Washington County, all the way over to Franklin County. I was born and raised in DeSoto, graduated from there in 1976. I played football, basketball, ran track, was in the drama club. I even starred as Hawkeye. My senior year, we did MASH. But I knew I was a Republican. I was raised in a middle-class union household. My dad was a union bricklayer all his life. When he wasn't serving in World War II, staying in the reserves and then going to Korea. He also won a couple of Bronze Star attachments during all that time, but he never talked to me about any of it. But I knew I was a Republican at the age of 16, and my dad, I'm sure, was dismayed by that, but he never criticized me, he never challenged me, never questioned me, and I believe that he would be a little bit appalled at how far left the Democratic Party has moved in recent years. So I wanted to be a lawyer at first, and so I wanted to do it myself, so I joined the United States Marine Corps. I'm going to use the GI Bill. I took even a few law classes while I was in there. But while I was in there, I learned about duty and honor and discipline and teamwork. I joined the Marine Corps because I also love my country, and I have to be careful how I say this, but I wanted to eliminate communists. I didn't care if they were Russian or Chinese. And I learned also recently that if you say that on Facebook wrong, you get a 60-day sanction. So after I got out of the Marine Corps, I took a couple of classes in college, but then I learned a trade. And I was a machinist for 40 years. I was active in the union when I was at McDonnell Douglas. 40 years. I retired because my wife and I planned well. I was able to retire early. And so I was approached by this. My daughter works at the Capitol as a legislative assistant. She works for Representatives Dean Van Squik and Dave Hinman. And with a mutual friend, they got together one day and they learned that our friend Elaine was going to retire and we needed someone to replace her. And they had approached Cindy Courtway about moving up, and Cindy said that if they could find somebody that she approved of, that she would move up. And she met me, and she has endorsed me. I have a sign in Denison, Elaine's yard. I've been supported or endorsed by Chief Jeff McCreary of DeSoto, longtime Chief Tim Lewis of Festus, State Representative Cindy Buckeye Courtway, State Representative Ken Waller, the laborers Local 110, who have also supported me financially, and the firefighters Local 2665. Also, with Dominic, I share. We will get the co-endorsement from the St. Louis Labor Council, whichever one of us wins. Also, we have a co-endorsement from Missouri Right to Life. I met my wife, Donna, in 2002, and God has blessed us over and over and over again. That's why we were able to buy this wonderful property we did a couple years ago. Even though I was retired, But I decided when I was going to do this, because my wife talked me into it. She was raised with politics her whole life. Her father ran. That means I have a minute left? Thank you. And so she finally told me, I think you should do this. And I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I'm not going to go out there. I'll be maybe like Phil Amato was. I plan on stirring things up. And I've met with the House Republican leadership, and they like me. And they have also supported me financially because they know that I will go to the podium and talk about conservative values, and I will bring things to people's attention, and I know how to garner a consensus. I've been good at it all my life, and I hope to take that to Jefferson City. My name is Bill Lucas. Once again, I'm running for District 115, Southern Jefferson County. I appreciate your vote. Thanks for having me.
Okay, now we're going to move on to county council seats, and we're starting with District 2 and Alan Liederbrand.
My name is Alan Liederbrand, and I want to thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I really appreciate it. I'm running for County Council District 2, which is part of the northern part of Jefferson County, along from St. Louis County over to Arnold, 55, then down the corridor along Old 21 and Old Lee May Ferry to Fort Ridge. I'm married to my lovely wife, Lynn, for 43 years. I have 2 kids, and I have my daughter presented me with a new granddaughter 4 months ago. So love of my life. I adore her. But the thing that got me motivated to run for county council is that I was concerned about the development in District 2. Over the years, I was chair of the redistricting of county council districts, and District 2 shrank tremendously. Well, the reason it shrank is because of the population of the building that's going on in District 2. My concern is that builders over the years have been allowed to get away with things that they shouldn't have. I'm not against development, but I want the right development in the right area. Too often, the county has approved a project and there's been no concern about improving the roads in District 2. We still have the same Saline Valley Road. We have the same Romaine Creek Road. We have the same everything. But we have constantly new developments, and there's another 160 homes going in right now, of which on top of the existing developments that are already going in. My concern is that we're not having the right rules and regulations for the builders. I'm not opposed to it, but we got to have the builders need to follow our rules. If you were familiar, there was a Hillcrest project, which made it all the way to the county council. And the thing that concerned me was that the builder asked for variances. He wanted the distance between the houses down to 10 feet instead of 12. Well, if you put an air conditioner on the side of your house, you only have 1 foot to get around your house. He also wanted the setback from your house down to 20 feet instead of 25. Well, I have a pickup truck, like many people in Jefferson County. Can't park it in the driveway because the driveway is not long enough. These things should have never been approved by planning and zoning, and definitely I'm glad to see that the county council amended it to force the builder to follow the rules. That's what I like to see. I've talked to the people in Jefferson County, in my district, and there are concerns. Basically, one is they want to be left alone. 2, they want safety, and as councilman, I will work with the sheriff's department to do what we can on the county council to help the citizens for safety. Another issue is they were talking to the homeowners. They're concerned about the traffic, and the traffic is due to all the development that's going on. And with high-density housing being pushed by many on the county council, that increases the number of cars. And sometimes those cars are going to be in the wrong location with apartment complexes that are right by a major intersection.
If you travel 141, there are constantly accidents at Guffey School entrance there by Winding Bluffs, down at Romaine Creek. There's constant accidents. We need to address the safety issue. The thing that we got to work at is trying to make sure we have the right development. And that's what one of my things that I want to do is make sure we have the right development, going in the right place. With all this new development that's going in, we're not addressing the floodplain. If you saw it in my area, Romaine Creek flooded, couldn't get out. Cornet Road flooded, couldn't get out. They had to wait till the flash flooding. Talking to the constituents, they have the same issue. We have all this new development, and now they're getting flooded out where in the past they didn't. And we're allowing buildings, home developments in floodplains. So when you dump dirt to build a house, you're building a levee, and more people are getting flooded. Those are some of the issues that I want to address, and I appreciate, and I would hopefully get your support on August 6th, and that you will vote for Alan Liederbrand for County Council District 2. And if you want more information, go out to my website, www.alanliederbrand.com. Thank you for your time.
Next for District 2, we have Billy Crow.
Well, I also want to thank you for having us out tonight. And like Alan said, like door knocking and getting to meet people is the best part of running for county office here. And what's really cool about this event is there's, as a Republican on the Republican primary ticket, we run a lot of Republican circles. So we get to see a lot of Democrats, which is really cool to be able to talk to you. But when I'm out door knocking, I've gotten to see the ones that are actually still in Jefferson County, right? And what's been really cool, and one of my favorite stories of door knocking was this lady. I knocked on her door and I gave her my spiel, and she says to me, "Did someone drop you on your head when you were a kid?" I said, "Well, ma'am, probably, but I don't remember." I said, "Well, why you ask?" She says, "Because I don't know why anybody would run as a Republican unless someone dropped them on their head." I said, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I don't remember dropping my son on his head, but I must have because he's a Republican. I'll make sure to get him your literature." So anyways, we've been out there knocking doors and listening to constituents, and that's been a really, really fun time. But introduce myself, I am Billy Crow. I have lived in Jefferson County my entire life. I grew up in southern Jefferson County. I like to say between Hillsborough and Festus, because when you say Mappaville, people look at you kind of oddly. I graduated from Hillsborough. Spent my summers baling hay with my uncle for his horses. So I know what a hard day's work looks like on a farm. And then after I graduated from Hillsborough, I started working as a summer missionary for the Jefferson Baptist Association. And so I was able to serve ministry in the community. We served all the small little churches in Baptist churches in Jefferson County. And another thing in the southern Jefferson County is a lot of people say that nothing good happens north of M Highway. Well, my wife proved that wrong, because during that summer after high school, I met my wife who lived in Arnold, and she seduced me to north of M Highway, as I like to say. And we've been married 17 years. We've got a 14-year-old daughter, Genevieve, who is got the best qualities of her mother and the worst qualities of me. But that's not her fault. That's not her fault, right? I'm a second-generation sheet metal worker, a third-generation union household. I completed my 10,000-hour 5-year apprenticeship program, and I love Jefferson County. I love the community. I love the working-class nature of Jefferson County. I mean, as long as I can remember, it has been a working man's county, whether you're farmers or you're union workers that have to go somewhere else to work. And now. So why am I running? I am running because of what my vision of Jefferson County is. When I see Jefferson County right now, and I've seen Jefferson County since I was a kid, I remember going to asking my parents when I was in school, like, why is it that we got to go outside? Like, all the restaurants are outside the city limits of Hillsborough. Well, because no one in Hillsborough wanted growth. And I'm afraid that sort of mindset is kind of creeping in all across the county. And so when I talk about my vision for this county, my vision for this county is this: a county that is growing and thriving, a county that is not known for its zoning issues, but a county that is known to where you go when you want to start a small business. It's where you go when you want to start a family, and it's a place you want to grow when you not only want to live, but you want to thrive. Now, how do we accomplish this vision in this county? Well, I believe that's done through the conservative values of limited government regulations, lowering the tax burden, and basic free market economics. Now, this is my vision, and so on August 6th, we're going to ask District 2, is this your vision too? If your vision is for a growing, thriving county that is pro-small business, that you can come to get ahead in the world, that you can raise a family on safe streets in good schools, if that is your vision for the county, then I ask you to vote for me on the Republican primary ticket on August 6th in County Council District 2. Thank you.
Okay, and the third one we have tonight for District 2 is Jeff Rorda.
Thank you, Dina. Welcome to our county. Your home, my home, the place where my wife Nancy and I raised a family. I've lived in Jefferson County since I was 12 years old. I traced my roots all the way back to my great-grandfather, who worked at Pittsburgh Plate Glass Company in Crystal City around the turn of the last century. My wife and I own two businesses. One's inside the county, one's outside the county. We're trying to relocate that second one down here. We do love this county. I've just been saying that for 24 years. That's how long I've been involved in public life in Jefferson County. Most of you know me, Jeff Rorda. I started my engagement in serving this county when I was a teenager as a volunteer firefighter, Dean Tony Fire Department. Stayed there for well over a decade as a firefighter at EMT. Worked 17 years in law enforcement, most of that in Jefferson County. As a matter of fact, most of it with the Arnold Police Department. And then I served on the board of directors of both the ambulance district and the fire district where I lived for several years before I was elected and honored to have served in the Missouri House of Representatives, where I served for a total of 8 years until I was term limited from the House. As you might expect, having been a firefighter, EMT, and a police officer, I was sort of the public safety guy in the House, and was the fellow that a lot of the public safety agencies went to help them with legislation. I authored and ultimately passed Jessica's Law, which was a piece of legislation that cracked down on child molesters, created mandatory minimum sentences of 25 years, made it all the way to the governor's desk. I authored the bill that created a benefit, a $25,000 benefit for police officers, firefighters, and air ambulance crews that died in line of duty. My friend Phil Amato, as a matter of fact, recently tried to up that through legislation he filed, and I'm confident that he'll continue down that path and that we'll have a benefit that keeps up with inflation in the state to help our firefighters, police officers, and EMS personnel when they're killed in line of duty. As a county council candidate in the 2nd District, North Central Jefferson County, I've talked to my constituents. I've been talking to them for years, and I understand what they want. I've looked at polls. The number one and number two issues are both related to public safety in my district, and that's what they want out of a county councilman, is somebody they can trust on public safety, on immigration, on law and order. I'm the one with the credentials to stand up and fight on those issues. The only candidate in this race who has arrested and deported illegal aliens involved in felonious actions. The only candidate in this race that's worked undercover narcotics, put fentanyl and other drug dealers behind bars. I'm the candidate that voters in this district can trust to uphold public safety. And I'm not just talking about the law enforcement side of it. Also, the streets and highways, bridges in our county are in terrible condition. Fatal accidents, serious accidents all the time. Improving those roadways and bridges is a top priority of mine. And another public safety issue that's very near and dear to my heart is enforcing our life and safety and code regulations for buildings. Now, the numbers are in, and I'm not talking about polls. The campaign finance reports were filed yesterday, and we all got to see, because those reports are public, where the special interest money is going. It's not going to me. The folks that want to fling open the doors in Jefferson County and allow gutter-to-gutter development are supporting my opponent. They don't want me in there. They know from my time in the State House of Representatives for 8 years that I'm fiercely independent, that I won't be pushed around, and that I'll stand up for what I believe in. We've got a beautiful place to live here. There's no reason for us to roll over for developers. There's no reason for us to back away from our very important code and regulations. People want to move here. Businesses want to be here. Families want to be here. But we don't act like it sometimes. We act like we've got to do something to seduce them to come here, to give away tax breaks for people who don't need tax breaks, to ignore our own regulations when it comes to building. So you can count on me to fight those special interests, stand up for our residents, and be an independent voice for our voters. I'm Jeff Rorta. You can learn more about me at jeffrorta.com, and I'd appreciate your vote for County Council District 2 on August 6th. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to District 4, we have Charles Gredeke.
Good evening. Thank you, Jefferson College and the Jefferson County Growth Association, for allowing me to speak here tonight. My name is Charles Grodeke. I've been married to my wife, Sharon. Excuse me. Yep. I've been married to my wife, Sharon, for 43 years. I moved to Jefferson County in 2000, and I'm a proud resident of District 4. I'm a retired maintenance machinist for Marquette Tool and Die Company, and I'm currently serving my third term on your county council. First thing I'd like to mention is Jefferson County is now a Purple Heart County. It was a great honor to get recognized, the veterans, as a Purple Heart County. We did that at our last council meeting. Executive Gannon worked with myself and the other council members to make this happen. I've served 3-year term on the Rock Township Ambulance Board of Directors and gained experience there. I've been serving 9 years now on the Jefferson County Council. I was one of the first members of your new county government when it was first appointed. I've had 3 years as chairman of the county council and many years as vice chairman. The future of Jefferson County is bright. Conservative government has kept your taxes low. We've got great schools. Our sheriff's department keeps us safe. The county government has worked hard for the last 14 years to be transparent and responsive to the people of Jefferson County without raising your taxes. Many improvements have been made on our roads with the adoption of the 2021 County Road Safety Plan, and more planned. Second Road and Old May Ferry Road improvements are big examples of the improvements that have been made. Stormwater continues to be a major concern as our county develops. Careful planning to protect our citizens is essential to eliminate some of the flooding we've seen in the past and keep more flooding problems from happening. Planning developments must include traffic management measures, and playground space should be considered around the more densely developed areas. The council has approved a new master plan and changes for the Unified Development Order for new growth in the county, and it is to be completed soon. When approved, along with the necessary code changes, it should provide a roadmap for the future of this county for the next 20 years. A lot has been spoken about development in the county. In the last 9 years, there have been 395 requested cases presented to the Jefferson County Planning Department. Of those 395, 359 have been approved currently. The myth of no development in Jefferson County is false. 31 cases have been recommended to the County Council for denial by a Planning and Zoning Commission, our non-elected volunteer body that reviews and provides recommendations to the Council. Of those 31 cases for denial by the Planning and Zoning Commission, only 21 in the last 9 years were confirmed for denial by your County Council. That's about 2.5 cases denied each year of the last 9 years. I would say the County Council has overwhelmingly approved much development in the county. Everywhere you look, there's construction. According to our latest census figures, we are the fourth fastest growing county in population in our state. More housing is needed as the county grows, and we are planning for the growth. Responsible growth is the future for our county. Our ordinances that have been in place are necessary. Most of them were put in place before 2010, not to eliminate growth, but to protect the county's most valuable asset, the people and the land. Everything we do in county government comes with a price tag on it. Conservative principles have kept your county government taxes low. The county council has worked with the administration for conservative solutions for county expenditures. Employees need raises. Health insurance costs are on the rise, and inflation is putting a strain on all of us. Improvements in operations are ongoing, and great strides have been made in the last 9 years to improve government efficiency and operation. But like any operation, there's always room for improvement, and we continually work towards that. The parks budget for 2024 was $1.5 million to operate our county parks. The council has approved additional spending on county parks in the amount of $1.9 million for bathrooms, water, security, playgrounds, and more. The new county park in Kimmswick alone has received over $350,000 in improvements, some yet to be completed. The newly established Tourist Commission is working to bring more tourism to Jefferson County. I've worked on the Missouri Association of County Steering Committee, where I've advocated for funding for driver education grants for high school students. New job opportunities on the horizon with continued support for the council. The funding of the Port Authority and road improvements were necessary to bring James Hardy Company to Jefferson County examples of this. These projects are projected to propel our county into new prosperity. In conclusion, I passed a tax credit for our seniors in Jefferson County that will help our seniors stay in their homes after retirement, SB 190. I passed an ordinance directing that our new tax dollars from the marijuana tax be directed to pay down county debt before other uses. As a council to support law enforcement, our county approved the funding and remodeling of one substation near Highway 30, a new substation in Imperial, a crime laboratory, and a new evidence handling facility to support our law enforcement. Illegal immigration was also addressed by the council with a resolution that was passed and sent to our representatives in Washington, D.C. When reelected, I will continue to be diligent in the many duties of your council member and physically conservative with a constant eye on your tax dollars. I'm Charles Grodeke, and I appreciate your support and your vote August 6th. Thank you.
Also running for District 4, we have Leslie Cheek.
Thank you all for being here, and thank you for having us. I know that seems kind of redundant since I'm like the 20th person coming up here saying the same thing. I don't know if I appreciate it yet or not. I'll let you know at the end. Anyhow, I normally don't speak in front of a lot of people, but I have been door knocking, and I have been hearing what the people want. And I'm sorry, it's lower taxes. You can't go to the grocery store under $100 anymore. We have to have smart growth in our county. Unfortunately, people are saying we've had growth. We haven't in over a decade. I'm a real estate agent. I've been a real estate agent for over 30 years. I had 4 boys. One served in the military. He was in the 82nd Airborne. He has since passed. I have 3 boys. I have 4 grandchildren. They all live in Jefferson County. I want Jefferson County to be a place, and more importantly, I have a certain district. It's not all of Jefferson County. It's my district. It's where I live. It's where I've been for 30 years. I was raised in St. Genevieve. It was way out in the Boot Hills. Probably most of you don't even know where it is. But they have a water park. What the heck? We don't have a water park. But anyhow, I just think it's sad when your daughter-in-law has to go 30 minutes to take the baby in a stroller for a walk in a park. The boyfriend has to go to Fenton 30 minutes away to go run. We haven't had a park in 30 years in Jefferson County. Our schools used to be ranked 52. Since I've been a realtor in the last 12 years, we've dropped 100 scores. That's sad. It's not about me anymore. It's about our children. It's about our grandchildren. I want this to be a place to live that you can be inspired to be here. I used to love to sell houses in Jefferson County. It's where I live. Don't you want to be close to me? And I used to say we have the lowest taxes. You want to go to St. Louis County, you're going to pay 28% higher. I can't say we have the lowest taxes anymore. I can't sell houses if we don't believe in what we're doing. We have to have a chance to change some things. Change is good sometimes. This is a selfless act of mine to come do this. If I want to change, I have to be part of it. I want to hear what people have to say. I've door knocked so long that my shoes were melting on the pavement, which was kind of scary, actually. But they're really telling me they won't lower taxes. They're not saying all this other stuff. I know the world is not the funnest place, but when your president gets shot at a place, it's scary. So no, I don't want to speak in front of a bunch of people. I want to talk to the people that really matter, that are in my district and that are telling me what they want. I want to be able to sell a home to a senior citizen that they're not feeling like they're a burden on their family anymore because they either have to go to a nursing home or they're forced to live with a relative. That's sad. They took care of us. Why are we not taking care of who made us in this world? So I just want it to be a better place to live for all of us. I want it to be the place that I call home, that has a park. We shouldn't have to drive from Farmington or St. Genevieve all the way to St. Charles for an arena to watch your grandbaby dance. Pay $28 to watch my granddaughter, $15 to park. I can't imagine we don't have a field that we can put an arena. We have 25 acres behind Parkton subdivision. It's landlocked. We can't put a park there? I'm pretty sure people love to give money for something that's going to be for their family. So I believe in this country and I believe I can make a change, but I have to have the opportunity. So I'd appreciate your vote on August 6th. My name is Leslie Cheek. Thank you.
Now we're moving to District 6, and Brad Bosler, we were informed earlier this evening that he could not make it. He has some ongoing health and a family issue that he's tending with, so he is not here this evening. So we will move on to Stan Richardson.
Good evening. I also want to thank you for the opportunity in attending, just like everyone else. I was raised in a blue-collar home, conservative values, Christian values. I was taught to work hard. I'm a son and grandson of veterans. My father is a retired county police deputy. I currently have 5 kids. 3 are almost grown, most of the time. 2 are in college. My wife and I, who will be married for 10 years on Thursday. So now I have witnesses that I did remember our anniversary. But we have 2 kids, and we own the KFCs in Festus and DeSoto. So I also babysit anywhere from 55 to 60 employees at any time. Why am I running? So I was approached to run for county council. After much research and thoughts and prayers and talking it over with my wife, I felt like I should put my hat in the ring here. So I feel like our county is in a pivotal and vulnerable place right now. We can go one of a couple different directions. The county is going to grow. It's inevitable. So we can either accept it and do it the right way, or we can just get it forced down our throats. We do need smart development. We need to work with our state legislators to get a good infrastructure. We need to bring back an airport to this county. We're one of the only counties in the state that doesn't have one. We need to bring that back to our counties. I go every weekend. My kids are in way too many sports. Hockey, soccer, baseball. Every weekend, I leave this county to go spend my money to watch them play sports. We need to bring other people from other counties to spend their money in our county. Okay, that will, instead of raising taxes for our citizens, we need to get money, sales tax from other counties. We need to build recreation in our county. We need to build amusement in our county. We need industrial jobs to keep our middle class, our blue collar, our families here in the county to where they can raise their families, to where their kids can go off to college, where they can retire here and still afford to live here. We don't need the outside investors coming into our county to build low-income housing developments. That is going to cause more problems for not just the county, but for our police force, for many different organizations. I'm a huge supporter of our law enforcement, first responders, veterans, our teachers. That's the group that keeps our children safe, and that's the group that are going to nourish our children. I've been endorsed by local businesses, a couple of the unions. I don't have any large interest groups like my opponent. I won't have all the answers. I'm not naive to think that I will, but I am humble enough to get the right people together, bring our county together, bring our council together, and get those right answers, and build relationships with our state reps and Senate. So, I'm young, I'm healthy, I will work hard to work for this county, for the district, for the citizens, and work towards a better Jefferson County. So, again, my name is Stan Richardson, and I appreciate your vote on August 6th.
Also for District 6, we have Tim Brown.
All right, thank you so much. And good evening, everyone. And thank you to the Jefferson County Growth Association and Jefferson College for hosting this event. And I'm not the opponent that Stan was talking about for special interest. So, and again, my strength is thinking and being creative, not public speaking. So, of course, I wrote down a lot of thoughts here that I had to take from 10 minutes down to 5 minutes to try to get in here. Again, my name is Tim Brown, and I'm running for County Councilman of District 6. I am married. My wife, Joy, and I just celebrated our 24th wedding anniversary last week. We do have one surviving daughter. She's in college, and she's got one more year to achieve her bachelor's in nursing. I'm in 43 years in Jefferson County, and I graduated from Herky in '93. That's Dunklin for people that don't live in the area. My Christian conservative values at the heart of who I am. I put my faith in God first. I believe in limited government and that people should be responsible for their own well-being. My career is in cybersecurity, where it's involving leading a global team of security experts where we look for threats and we prevent those globally. I excel at visualizing solutions to complex problems and am energized by that learning process. My passion for innovation drives me to seek opportunities like this to contribute new ideas. I've been deeply involved in our community. I've served 9 years on a school board, focusing on educational policy and budget management. My 4 years on the Parks Commission also allowed me to contribute to the community development and enhance our recreational infrastructure. In my church, I've been very active on many teams, and I helped launch a location in DeSoto. I attend most of our council meetings, and I've studied the local issues and contributed to many ideas over the last several years. My thoughts on a few issues, some controversial, some not. Smart, thoughtful, responsible growth. You can choose your buzzword, but that's the kind of growth that I support. The controversy is primarily around developments not conforming to the master plan of the surrounding community and the UDO. It's these petitions that we must be reviewed carefully, with each case considered on its own merits. The impacts to the community, the natural resources, the surrounding character are all important elements to consider. Even the property rights of the neighbors matter. Development should not create problems that taxpayers are left to deal with. History has shown us that poor decisions, like causing flooding in previously unaffected homes, can have devastating and costly effects. That is irresponsible growth. Data shows we are growing. We're fourth, as I mentioned before. We're fourth in Missouri counties for growth in 2023, and that's attributed to migration. People are moving into the county. Also, some things I've heard is that the that I think the claims that are simply saying by adding homes you will decrease tax rates, that's vastly overpromising, and you will underdeliver to your constituents. It's a much more complex issue than that. I think improved access to high-speed internet in rural areas will support our growth by attracting more families like mine looking to escape urbanized areas, but we rely on connectivity for work. People are attracted to Jefferson County for many reasons. District 6 offers a variety of living environments from urban to agriculture. There are numerous small businesses driven by a strong entrepreneurial spirit. If we're looking to incentivize anything, we should be considering what we can do to continue supporting small businesses in our community. Nobody wants more taxes, including me, and I will work to prioritize funding for our needs, focusing on essential infrastructure and services. For example, the jail and the courthouse, been discussed for so many years, but there's still no plans or estimates that I've been able to find. While we're spending over $500,000 on repairs, we need to just figure it out. It's the let's S or get off the pot. I'm sorry, don't want to be crude. I'm willing to put in the effort to brainstorm with anyone on any topic that can benefit county residents. I support smaller government, deregulation where possible. More regulations just mean more resources. I'll back a budget that right-sizes each department for efficiency and effectiveness. New regulation proposals should include a financial impact and a funding plan. I believe being present and engaged is a key to success. Our representatives should work hard on every issue for every resident and make themselves available. I'm not running to push a personal agenda or those of a special interest group, but to apply my skills and expertise for the benefit of our community. I'm committed to becoming well-informed on every issue facing our county. With my analytical mindset and my problem-solving approach, I will offer innovative solutions and work tirelessly to address community needs. I believe in lower taxes, fewer regulations, and a transparent and responsive government while preserving the unique character of District 6. I thank you for your support. I ask you for your vote on August 6th, and I look forward to serving you with dedication and integrity. Thank you.
Okay, next we have assessor, and we have Bob Boyer here this evening.
Well, good evening. My name is Bob Boyer. I'm the Jefferson County Assessor. I've been the assessor since 2017. I was elected first in 2016 and reelected in 2020, and now I'm going for my third term as assessor. Before that time, I served on the Jefferson County Council, the first county council, elected in 2010 and reelected in 2014. I'm also two-time chairman of the Jefferson County Republican Caucus, served on a number of boards in my time. I'm actually the president-elect of the Missouri State Assessors Association. And what I've learned in my years of public service is that government does a few things. When you give the people the choice of where their money goes instead of higher taxes, when you allow people to make decisions regarding, their decisions on what they need to do with their life and their property and their liberty, and really, if you just use conservative principles, you get good government. And my office is a good example of that, and I want to give you a few of the examples. My first year in office in 2018, we were able to eliminate our office expense by 43% in 1 year. We ran surplus budgets every year that I've been in office. We have a $1 million reserve right now. We did this by utilizing technology to mitigate costs of inflation or postage and to streamline government processes and procedures. We were able to eliminate 4 full-time positions using technology and reducing our cost. I really believe the Jefferson County Assessor's Office has the best customer service in county government. We do a lot of things online. We try to give as much information to people as we can online so that they don't have to travel to Hillsborough to do their business. A lot of forums and frequently asked questions are on the county website, jeffcomo.org/assessor. I'm proud to say that this year, 44,000 people utilize our electronic filing system for personal property. So that way they don't have to mail in the paper form. They can do it within 1 minute on their smartphone or on their tablet or their computer. We actually had over 10,000 people utilize our opt-in program to to get their assessment list electronically, so you don't even have to receive a piece of paper this year. Hopefully more people utilize that program. If you're interested, please let me know. The biggest thing we did, though, differently than our Democratic counterparts in, say, St. Louis or Kansas City, we do conservative reassessments here in Jefferson County. In St. Louis County, the past couple cycles, my counterparts have raised assessments 20 and 25% median average. Jackson County, the Democratic assessor over there, raised people over 30% median, sometimes high as 200%. The results really speak for themselves. In St. Louis County, they have over 15,000 appeals to the Board of Equalization. In 2023, Jackson County, as you know in the news, had over 50,000 appeals to the Board of Equalization. They got sued by the Attorney General for terrible business practices. Let me just tell all the state reps that are sitting here, that's not how we do it in Jefferson County. We do it the right way. To give you a comparison of numbers, in 2023, in a reassessment year, while Jackson County had over 50,000, we had 74. This year in Jefferson County, we have 6. I actually got rid of 2 of them the other day because they were just complaining that their taxes were too high. So in summary, conservative principles work. We save taxpayer dollars, we streamline government services, and we provide exceptional customer service. I did hear one candidate talk about there's no growth in Jefferson County. By the way, the past 3 years, we've averaged over 700 new homes built in Jefferson County. Right now, we have 2,700 active building permits. People are building in Jefferson County. People that have money are investing in Jefferson County. And it's due to Republican leadership the past 14 years in this county. It's an honor and privilege to serve you every day as county assessor. It's something I don't take lightly. It's a blessing from God, one of many blessings that he's always bestowed upon me. So I'm on the Republican primary on August 6th. I'm unopposed. I think part of the reason is the number of things that we talked about. But I still would like to ask for your vote. And thank you.
Okay, moving on to Sheriff Colin Rumsfeld.
If you don't get it right, I'll get it right. Had it for 58 years. Hey, everybody, I'm Colin Rumsa, and I'm running for Jefferson County Sheriff. I'd like your vote on August 6th. Hey, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a man of faith. I belong to Holy Family Church in Arnold. I have an amazing family. I have a beautiful wife that I've been married to for over 31 years. I have 4 great kids. I'm proud of each and every one of them. They've all turned out great. 2 of my children are veterans. They served in the United States Army National Guard. One was deployed. The other one broke her ankle just before she was deployed, and I was very happy about that. I will tell you, as a parent, I'm very happy when my daughter didn't have to go over there. She was a little upset. I am extremely blessed. I served our country for 4 years. I was in the United States Army. I was with the 101st Airborne. While I was there, I was deployed to Egypt. When I came back, I received orders to go over to Mannheim, Germany, where I was with the 8th Infantry. After I received my honorable discharge, I then became a Boilermaker. I was still kind of young, 22 years old. I thought, hey, I'm going for the money. And about 3 years into it, I realized that is not what I was about. I was about public service. So I tried for a few years with the Highway Patrol and finally ran into a guy who helped me out with this St. Louis City Police Department. 1997, I got hired on there. While I was there, I was a defensive tactics instructor, a motorcycle instructor, accident reconstructionist. I was made a sergeant. I went to SWAT. I trained the Civil Disobedience Team, which is a riot police. So I'd done quite a bit. In 2017, I retired, and I came to Jefferson County. And I got to tell you, I want to tell you a quick story here. When I was, my first day on, I was with a very high-speed character as my training officer. His name was Roger Wensler. Everybody knows him. He goes 110 miles an hour in a 2-mile zone. We got a call for a stopped bus, a stalled bus. And we get there, and Roger's like, a crabby old guy. He says, what, do this, do that, do this, do that. I said, okay. And as I was passing by the bus, all the kids were like waving to me, hey, officer, hey, officer. So I stopped. And I'm shaking their hands. I'm kind of a tall fella, so I could shake their hands. And I'm like, how you guys doing? Roger's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, Roger, you don't understand. Man, where I came from in the city, those kids would be trying to spit on me. So I'm taking advantage of everything I can here. That's why I want to be here in Jefferson County and serve as sheriff. When you call 911, a couple things I'm going to do. If you call 911 and you say, hey, I think I'm not feeling right, I'm going to kill myself, guess what? You're going to have a deputy show up. And why is that? Well, because number one, it's just the right thing to do, is have a deputy show up. And they provide a lot of security for EMS and the fire department. Hey, in 2008, there was a young man, Ryan Hummert. He was a paramedic. He got shot and killed because he showed up before police showed up. So I take mental health very seriously, and I'm going to make sure that my deputies are showing up. I've heard somebody mention about the jail tonight. The jail is atrocious. It's breaking down. Let me give you my solemn vow and promise. I am not going to ask for more taxes. I am a true conservative, and I'm not going to ask for more taxes to fix that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use grants and bonds. Transparency. I'm going to bring back transparency with body cameras. I can do this for $290,000. I can outfit 75 officers with body cameras for $290,000. Illegal immigration. What I'm going to do about that is I'm going to train my officers. I'm going to give them special training from the Midwest Counter-Drug Training Center. And what that does, it's going to teach them code words, red flag words. It's going to teach them other things like gang signs. They got to be careful of that. I'm going to keep Jeffco money in Jefferson County. I'm not going to put it outside and send people somewhere else. I'm going to send them to Jefferson County's academy. Let me finish with this. I am a true conservative, and I believe in the Second Amendment. And if they come for our guns, they're going to have to go through me first. I promise you that. I will die on that hill, and that's my solemn vow to you guys. Thank you.
Next, we have current Sheriff Dave Marshak.
Thank you and good evening. 8 years ago, I was in front of the Jefferson County Growth Association pitching to our community the need for change. I felt like law enforcement was falling behind the curve, specifically with the sheriff's office. And so as I campaigned 8 years ago, I can stand up here today and tell you we've delivered on every one of the promises that I made to you 8 years ago. We've given officers the tools they need to do their job. We've incorporated technology. Now every one of our patrol cars has GPS technology. You now get the closest car for the fastest response. And during this first term, we've demonstrated that we will uphold your constitutional rights. And we did so with mask mandates. And so to the criticism of many, many people, we stood our ground. We overhauled the jail with things from redoing inmate food to renegotiating contracts, and we've saved millions of dollars for taxpayers by incorporating federal inmates within our custody right now. My experience and preparation to be in this position are unmatched. I've worked my way through the ranks at the sheriff, commanding different divisions, to understand how my decisions in one division impacted the larger organization. While working full-time as a deputy, I attended night school to get my bachelor's degree in human resources and my master's degree because I understood that when you are responsible for an organization with more than 250 employees and a budget of nearly $30 million, you better have some business sense about you. As sheriff today, we're preparing our officers for the challenges we face in the future. With an unsecured border and hundreds of thousands of unvetted fighting-age men illegally entering our country, sheriffs across this country must be prepared for the increased violence and drugs that are inevitable. We're doing that. And this summer, our officers continue to train for the worst-case scenarios, whether it's civil unrest from election turmoil or active shooters, from domestic threats or terrorists that enter our country illegally. Colin mentioned the mental health crisis. In Jefferson County, we respond to more than 800 suicidal subjects annually. So we started the first mental health crisis team, prioritizing our highest risk population that is likely to have a law enforcement encounter, and more specifically, reducing the possibility that law enforcement would use force on those individuals. Our mental health team is now working with more than 40 families in Jefferson County who we have deemed have a high risk of a law enforcement encounter. We know the mental health of our officers is important too. We have to enhance their wellness training and are bringing more resources in for them in 2025. I will share with you one of the biggest projects we have in Jefferson County right now is the construction of the new crime lab. Can you imagine being a victim of a crime? Police have the evidence that can yield a suspect profile and identify the suspect, and yet they're not testing it. That's what's happening right now to many of our victims, because we do not have the ability to test our own substances. The turnaround time right now for narcotics investigations, because we're waiting on lab results, is 8 months. For some, DNA is 13 months. We believe our citizens should have the opportunity to have their cases remedied and get justice. I will tell you, this is going to take a significant investment from us, and we're prepared to do it. We will have to hire from outside our organization. We need new scientists, and we're prepared to do that. I'm excited about the opportunity to make Jefferson County safer. I will share with you, as I did with the opening, that I followed through on our campaign promises that we've made you years ago. I am honored to have served you as a deputy, as a supervisor, as a commander for the last 30 years, 8 years being your elected sheriff. I am honored to be here, and I thank you for your time, and I would appreciate your vote on August 6th to keep progress going. Thank you.
And for Jefferson County Treasurer, we have Paula Wagner.
Hi, I'm the current county treasurer. I've been in the county government finance offices for over 25 years. I started working in the accounts payable department, and I started, after that, I started working in the auditor's office, and then I moved to the treasurer's office, and I was the deputy treasurer there for about 3.5 years before I became the chief deputy treasurer. And then when my predecessor decided to retire, she encouraged me to run. I never thought that I would be running for a political office before, but I'm blessed that I was able to win, and I enjoy my job. But one of the biggest things that our office has to do, and I must say we have a very small office of just myself and 2 other employees, but we are tasked with overseeing the county bank account along with the investment accounts that we have, and we have to balance that with the general ledger, which is maintained by another department. But for the last 2 months, we have balanced out our books for, it was over $124 million. And we have to make sure that those bank accounts are protected from fraud. During the height of the pandemic, we had several times where fraudulent checks were presented on our bank account, and I have put processes in place to stop those fraudulent activities. And then also earlier this year, we had a situation where there was a utility bill made out to Ameren, Missouri that went out, but when it tried to clear our bank, it was made payable to an individual. That's what the banking industry calls whitewashing a payee name. And I'm proud to say that the county, for processes that we have implemented, we kept fraudulent activity of almost $15,000 from going through the bank account. So one of the biggest things is to protect the taxpayers' dollars to make sure those fraudulent activities do not go through. We also work very closely with the individual offices within the county, the collector being the exception. She collects her own taxes, but it's up to my department, the three of us, to receipt all those monies daily and balance those monies also on a daily basis and make sure that we're hitting the general ledger, the account strings correctly. Because if we don't get our job right, then it affects the other offices as well. I am bad at this. So anyway, I'm just running for re-election, and I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you.
That's good. Well, I just want to take one more minute and thank everyone for coming out tonight. We really appreciate you being here. Sharon and the Jefferson County Growth Association, thank you for always sponsoring the candidate forum, and for all of you that are running for office. Not only thank you for your time this evening, but for stepping up for our community. We really appreciate it. Have a good evening.